Okay, hi. Good evening, everyone. You guys can hear me, right? Um,
Yes, we can hear you.
okay. Thank you so much. So we have just a few persons here. I'm going to just introduce myself first before I start on what we have for today. So my name is Samuel, right? Well, most people call me Sammy. I'll be kind of walking you guys through the platform developer tutorial. So I normally like having these sessions more practical and interactive. So it's not like I'm going to maybe teach like from scratch again what was taught in the class. I normally like having, especially platform developer, a bit more practical and like question and answering setting. So I hope everyone can unmute themselves, right? So I can see a few persons. It's good for what we have today, so like everyone can just communicate and participate. So hi Afam, Elijah, and Michael is here. Hello Michael, been a while. So you can just unmute and say hi actually, because
Hi, Sammy.
Hi, Sammy.
I'm actually going to be asking question. Hello, thank you. Michael, it's been a while. How are you doing?
Good. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I obviously won't want to teach, right? Like maybe start from where Tony started from explaining the architecture and like the whole stuff, right? So I just want to find out, right, if I don't know if you guys have, okay, I might just talk about some things, right? Then maybe I'll take a pause and maybe just find out if you guys have been practicing and you have any question or you have any particular topic you want me to talk about, because I know Tony has done a whole lot in just 2 weeks. I think he has covered what to take outside these training settings, what to take a normal person a few months to try to wrap their head around. I'm trying to create a new sheet so I don't type over what he has. Okay. So I like using bullet points. So I know, I mean, he talked about the platform, data type, platform, and architecture, I think so. Data types, so different types of data. We're going to get to that. I think he talked about conditionals and flows and operators, okay? DML with SOQL and SOXL and some other stuff I can't maybe fully remember now, okay? So I'm just going to go through a few of these concepts, then if you have any questions, you can ask. If you want clarification on anything, you can just maybe like kind of unmute yourself and draw me back while so I talk about it. So I'm sure the expectation, right? Everyone that's is in the platform developer class already, to an extent, in fact, you're supposed to have your admin certification. So to an extent, you should understand the platform. Not to an extent, actually, you should be a power user. Actually, that's like an expectation for learning platform development. So you need to understand the admin aspects, app build aspects, in general, the whole declarative aspect of Salesforce or the Salesforce platform. Okay, so I know Tony explained the difference, or explained what maybe you didn't know in the admin parts of about multi-tenancy, how Salesforce is just one platform but serves different businesses. Okay, so one platform, shared resources, but each business has his or her own or their own slots of resources allocated to them. Okay, so Salesforce is just one platform. Everyone can use it. Everyone has his or her own resources allocated, and the design, since everyone is using one platform, like in a general place, so Salesforce like has some restrictions, okay? Some restrictions we call governor limits. I'm just trying to maybe breeze through the platform, so I just go into the developer console. So Salesforce has what we call governor limit. I'm sure you guys must have talked about it. It's actually very, very, very important, right? So with the declarative parts, let me know see you can maybe do without most of this stuff. You actually need to know them, right? But with writing code, you actually need to know a whole lot of all of this architecture, the applications, the platform, and the whole service. So because if you're going to be a power developer, if you're going to go deep into development, you're going to be writing building services and maybe writing code to like kind of do custom or build custom solutions rather that maybe your flows or app builder cannot do for you. And you want to be able to know oh, what's causing this issue? Oh, why are my queries not working? Oh, why do I have this error? Okay, so the whole architecture, the governor limits, and all the whole theoretical part about the whole platform development just helps you it just helps you on what's it called be able to write better solutions. Okay, so in summary, it's Salesforce is multi-tenant. It's like one platform with resources assigned to different businesses. Then there are limits, right? Not necessarily limits because based on your license, I think not even by your life, not just by your license and per request, you can always increase your resources. Okay, so a simple search with the governor limit in Salesforce will just give you the meter or the limits you have in your org. Okay, so all these are limits your Apex code has. So I think I was in I watched a video where Tony was explaining the what's it called multi-tenant, where he was kind of giving an analogy. If one person in this apartment is running a factory, it's going to affect the power of the whole platform drastically, right? So your Apex code per se has some limits placed on them. So I know he explained all this stuff, but you can just see it like imagine it's just one platform, and if anyone maybe did or has any computer science knowledge, all these stuffs are called transactions, right? So maybe total number of SQL query, 100 queries per transaction. Right? So all these stuffs are called transactions, and for each transaction, each query, there's a CPU usage or there's a memory. So let me just quickly go over myself now. Open up the developer console while I try to explain that. So I'm just going to try to get all my accounts. Okay, not sure if I have. Because I'm sure you guys have done SOQ, but just want to explain something from accounts. Okay, so I'll just make this list so I don't fall into any issue. So I just want to see some stuff. I'm going to come back to this number of queries. It's the same thing I'm explaining. I just want to see they normally log out memory, okay? Why is it going back up? Okay, I don't know why if I scroll down, it's going to take me back up, but I'm just going to stop here. Okay, so you see stuff like maximum CPU, heap size, CPU time, like even though we can't, so maybe you might not understand all this stuff deeply. Whenever whenever a computer, a system has like runs a transaction or any task at all, right? Memory is being used. So maybe one of the major reasons your Apex code or whatever transactions you carry out has limits is Salesforce doesn't want just your single business to wear out the platform. Okay, so their whole limits and design is to protect their platform, and the platform is their business and what gives them money. Okay, so they always put in serious effort and work to just protect the platform, because if you go above the set limits, you're seriously going to weigh down the platform. So you have to pay if you want increased usage, and as a developer, you just have to maybe know this and always keep your transactions and your Apex statements within this context. Okay, so it's fun. I know it's looking gibberish now. It's fun. I remember I think last cohorts I had to build a solution. I think I am about to, but we needed to maybe pull like lots and lots and lots of records. Okay, so maybe when you start, or when we go deeper, actually when maybe Tony gets deeper, and hopefully for those that are going to be in the internship, you're going to just have like real life stuff where you're going to see all the stuff in use. Okay, so let me see if they added batch before I leave this place. Let me see if they added batch transactions. Okay, I can't find that here, but it's supposed to be here. Okay, so there's a way you can, even though you can, your limit of SOQ queries is 100. There's a way you can do it like asynchronously. So asynchronous, if you know how to code, you have superpowers to manipulate this whole lot of things. So you can run 200 transactions, but you can still maybe cheat that or beat that by running it like in batches. There's what we call it's here batch and feature context in what's it called, Salesforce. Okay, so they can just allow you queue or schedule on processes. So you can, if you know how to, you can just call 200 records per batch and per time and some stuff like that. I don't want to go into that, but the point of me being here, the point of the whole thing is just understand the platform, right? So I can't overemphasize on it. Understand the platform, because it's going to be affecting if you start building solutions with code. Okay. And Salesforce is seriously fighting, not really fighting, right? Like they're seriously trying to innovate to the point where you might not most times or mostly have to use the programmatic way of doing things, right? So let me see if Tony has a slide on that. Yeah, so declarative versus programmatic, right? So declarative, you have your admin tools or your app builder tools, right? Page layout, record types, like this whole stuff here, like this whole arsenal, like you can, if you are a power user, you can do a whole lot of stuff without needing the help of maybe programmatic or a developer. Okay, so Salesforce is putting serious resources and serious work into advancing, especially flows, right? To just reduce the need to use code or Apex, but still, if you still want to do seriously custom stuff, they all just provided you with Apex to use to do that stuff. Okay, so I'm mixing my tabs here. Okay, so declarative versus programmatic. Hopefully we're going to build a project this called so you guys can see how fun or how fun this stuff is. So I'm just trying to watch the platform, right? Architecture, model view, controller. The short Tony explained this. This is just like software architecture, right? Like model view controller is like you can also call it CRUD. So the same way like everything like that has everything just has a life cycle, right? So the same way data and entities in software engineering has a life cycle, right? So the CRUD, what was it called? Let me go back to I'm going to delete this so I don't mess up Tony's lessons. Okay. So the CRUD model, which stands for create, read, update, and delete, right? So it's just like a very popular paradigm in software engineering. Okay. So the whole people that designed this whole stuff like kind of separated. What you see here is the view, like the model and the controllers are all behind the scene, like manipulating everything you see in this front end. I talked about this in JavaScript, both in HTML, and I'm sure Tony must have talked about it. I wouldn't want to go back into it. Okay, So I'm just going to go to platform. Just going to go into the like just the platform. Okay. So again, there are a couple of ways to write codes in or Apex in Salesforce, right? You can either go from setup. This is the most boring because you can go from setup and write, just click on Apex classes. And you're just going to have a very boring editor to create your Apex classes and edit them. So if I click on new, so this is like the editor, right? Why I say it's boring because it's just like a plain text editor, no syntax highlighting, no error, no validation and stuff like that. This can be very, very frustrating if you write your Apex or your code like this, right? So, but if you super power user, I'm not sure there's any power user that wants to use this. Everyone likes using automated tools, okay? The second place or the second way you can write Apex codes, is you click on the gear icon and you can also get it from here, right? But you click on the gear icon and click on developer console, okay? It's just going to open the Salesforce default developer console for you. So before I start explaining this, right? The third one is you can also write what's it called? Apex classes or Apex code with what we call with your code editor, text editor. So I'm just going to blindly assume that everyone, both those that are not here, right? Everyone taking the platform developer class has some bit of has like some introductory experience, so you know what a code editor is and what VS Code is. Okay, so the last one is VS Code, and I'm sure Tony is going to show that how to install it. Right, you can connect your Salesforce org to your VS Code and just pull all your codes, all your accounts, all your metadata. You can just pull everything to your VS Code and work from there. But that'll be when you get to LWC. So this is where you'll be spending most of your time, right? This is where both as maybe if you're beginning or even though you're power user, this is where you'll be spending most of your time. And I'm sure you guys will have gone through all this stuff. Okay, so this is just a white canvas. This is like the file area. This is like the console. Okay, so there are so many stuffs here. I don't know if you guys have gone through all of them. Okay, so if you click on this file, you can create the new thing. The good thing, the good thing about the developer console is guided, right? So with my VS Code editor, I have the freedom to create whatever type of file I want. If I just give it the extension, it's going to just automatically maybe give me syntax highlighting for that language. But Salesforce is very guided. Okay, so if I click new, I can either create an Apex class trigger. You can't create anything outside these options. Okay, so Visual Force page. I'm not sure you guys have gotten there. Lightning components. I think there's no aura. Yeah, Visual Force components and all the stuff like that. Okay, you can also open one of your file. If you've created some files before, if you've created classes, you can see your classes here. Triggers, you guys are going to get to, I don't know if Tony has talked about triggers yet, and pages. Okay, you can just click on the options and open one of your file. Then logs, tests, query editor, and this is just like a debug log, and I'm sure you guys have done all this stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to maybe open this box here, right? Then I'll just explain one more thing before maybe I ask you guys for a question, because I want to maybe get a topic you guys want clarity on so we can talk on. Okay, so I noticed you guys have been working. Okay, so like one way, or like there are different ways to work with Apex, right? So you can either create a class. Again, I don't know if you guys have talked about classes. You can either create a class and write all your Apex code, or if you want to debug, you can go to debug. By debug, maybe you just want to write something you want to test and play around with, right? You can go to debug and click on open execute anonymous window, or you can just click on Control E. Okay, so with this, I think I heard someone ask the question, right? With this, right, whatever you're doing here, you're not manipulating your UI in any way yet. Okay, So I'm not even sure Tony has started doing any major stuff with building an application, using a trigger to listen to events or whatever the case might be. Okay, so whatever I do here is just like debugging. But if you try to run any DML operations inside here, it's still going to update or create records or delete records in your what's it called, Salesforce org. So you just have to be careful. Okay, so again, this is just for what's it called, testing. The word debug means maybe test or like check or like test. So testing and just playing around with code the way you want. Okay, so I'm just going to take a pause, right? I just maybe tried to work the few of us here assumed you guys maybe have not been following through, right? So I want to like kind of take questions, right? Lovely questions, right? So I just want to hear if you've attended all the sessions, fine. If you've been attending a few sessions, just tell me what topic, like what topic you found like a bit difficult and you need more explanation, and anyone can speak.
Okay, thank you very much, Sammy. Okay, let me go. This Afam.
Yeah, hi.
Hi. So for me, I think I need more explanation when to use static classes and or static methods and non-static methods. Let me put it that way.
So it depends, right? Have you guys got into classes?
Yes, we've treated classes.
Wow, you guys have actually finished the whole stuff. So it depends, right? There are couple of principles. No, let me know the word principle. Let me see. New class. So there are a couple of I think the word is pretty. A couple of principles with public static void. Did you say between void and static or just public static?
It's just public static.
Okay, yeah. So maybe when you start developing, when you go deep into development, right? So I think static methods can be called, or I think one of the major differences, right, is instantiation. Okay, so let me just try. So you're going to just pardon me. I write like 2 to 3 different languages every day. So I'm going to be mixing the words. So I think one of the major differences or major uses is instantiation, right? So if I do stuff like this, let me save this. I'm just going to return. Let me do return here. I'm just going to return a string with hi. So let me just see some stuff. So if you want to use, let's say you declare a class and you have different methods in it, right? So if you're building applications, right? So let me just say, for example, you're building a game. If you're building a game, sometimes you want some methods to just do some stuff and not return anything, or you want what we call, maybe if you're building sophisticated stuff, they're what we call internal methods or methods that just helps the class do something. Okay, so maybe you're building a calendar app, you might want to have a method named public, just public, maybe to return string. I think this is just maybe format date. Okay, format date. So this can just be an example of like an internal method. Okay, so one of the main differences is static methods. You can use them. I think you can use them without like instantiating them. By instantiating, I mean if you want to use some methods declared normally, you have to do so let's say new class, test class equals new. So this is what we call instantiating a class. Okay, new test class, something like this. And I think it's the same thing you do when you want to create maybe a variable, a list, and other stuff. So let me see, for example, like this list. List ID equals
why is this night
list like this. Okay. So this is like what we mean by instantiation. So I think static methods, you can just call them without instantiating them with this new, what's it called? New keyword. I don't know if you get that. Afam, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Yes,
Yes, I am.
this actually makes sense to me because so I was thinking we could okay, that is a list ID. So we can call it directly if we declare it as a static method. But if we don't declare it as a static method, we need to instantiate. Is that
Yeah, I think yeah.
okay.
We're going to try it. Let me just see something.
Okay, yeah, I would love for us to try it.
We're going to try it. How do you spell static? Let's try it first. So before I check. So let me say, okay, I said void. So let me return string. It's actually been a while. I wrote Apex. This error is supposed to go away. So I just want to return high here. So let me see. Format state. Format state, just return today. What am I missing? Okay. I wrote a whole lot of JavaScript today. Apex, your column is seriously required. Okay, so I think, let me see. So test class, let me just see something. System.debug. I think the explanation I gave was for static classes. So let me just see. Test class dot format state. I just execute everything today. Okay, so Afam, I think that explanation I gave, right, was for static classes. So let me just try it first before I just see the behavior on methods. Control E. Static is not allowed on classes. Oh wow. Okay. I'm sure like static methods. So let's just check. Are you there, fam?
Yeah, I'm here with you. I'm following.
I know you had to do, let me see. It's static methods can access static variables and belongs to the class, whereas non-static methods and variables can be accessed only. Let me just say. I know you have something to do with static. This person did not put his grammar well. So I might not know like the exact way to replicate it, but I know one of them, right? So if like static methods, right? You can access what's it called? Let me see again. Sorry. I don't think this is correct. So I'm not very sure of the differences, right? But I know like in JavaScript or like other languages, static methods, the difference between non-static and static method, right? One of them is just access issues, right? It's just access issues. One of them can, if this is a class, you can declare variables here, right? So public string a variable, or public dates a date, right? So one of them, they can access all the static and maybe public variables here, and one of them cannot. So I don't just know how to replicate it for now. This is Apex is trying to mess with my head this evening.
Okay, I will just check it out later too.
Yeah, I'm going to check it and maybe get back to you.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So any other person, Michael, Toby?
Hi, Sammy. I don't know, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so the area where I'm having a little bit of issue, or let me say, majority of the issues is there is the Tony taught us, that was yesterday, about how you can display errors. I did not really understand the details of how you got to do them. It was like, like for example, if you run a code now and you have errors and stuff, there's a way you can code it and you will see more details of what the error is about and all of that. So I don't know if it's something you can take us through on how we can dive deep to know exactly what the errors our debugging is telling us.
Yeah, so Salesforce error class. So was it when he was doing DML, maybe creating, deleting, and updating stuff?
Yes, yes, it was there. I think we were doing DML when he taught us about that. Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I know you can when you're maybe not just DML, right? Both in triggers when you're doing stuff and you want to pass an error message in the UI and error. So let's just look at the error class. I'm going to do a DML to what was it called? Try to replicate it. No, so let me go to DML. No, not debug. I'm looking for the name of the method. Is a method in a class?
I think he has to do, I don't know if it's a try, or I know you have to use a try, then at the point of you coding, you have to do maybe get error or something. I can't remember the details.
So let's say I want, so let's just create one account, right? So no need to use a class, so don't complicate it. I'm just going to intentionally put an error. The name is required in the accounts, right? Let me go accounts. Let me look for another field. Let's just use active. I'm very sure name is required field. It's active. It's a pick list. P. Finish. Okay. Let me just see if there's an error. Then we're going to try to replicate it. Cool. I'm doing a lot of JavaScript stuff. Okay. So I'm looking for the name of there's a method, like there's a method you can just easily use to do it. If you call the method, it's going to show in the UI. I see the method, I'm just going to try to replicate it in the front end for you. So it's just error handling, right? If you use the try catch, if I just had this without the try catch, so let me just show you something. If I had this without the try catch, it's just going to maybe pour out an unreadable error, okay? Either in the UI or in the console for us here. But if you catch the error, you can just handle it and display it in the UI. So something like this, if I go to the front end, click on opportunities, click on new. If I just click on save, you're going to see this little stuff. There's a method to use to call it. Just give me a minute. Let me just look for it. Salesforce DML display error. New. All right. Are you there, Toby?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm following.
Okay. 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 So I knew it has something to do with add errors. Okay. So was he using triggers when he was doing it?
No, I'm not sure he used.
Okay, so I think we can call it on the object. Let me try it. We can just call it on the object and add error. So I can only do this with a class. So let me see. Let me create a new trigger. Have you guys talked about triggers?
No, we've not done triggers yet.
How did he create the error with a class?
Yes, I'm trying to also get the particular method he called. There's one particular method. Once I get it, I'll let you know.
I don't know if it has to do like get error or something. I'm not.
So get error gives you. So if this is an exception. This what's it called? This exception here, I can do e.get e. There are many methods you can use on this, right? So you can get the error message, but the way you can pass it to the UI, you have to call a method on the record.
Oh,
so the method is add error. So if you can add error. So this person put a custom message.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me use trigger. Let me just use trigger to see if I can achieve this. So I'm going to create.
I think what he was teaching us, I don't think he has got into the aspect of us seeing it on the UI on the front end. It was more of the back end. Or maybe we are working on the developer console and we want to see a breakdown of what the error.
Okay. So it wasn't like you were not talking about seeing it in the front end here.
Yeah, I don't think we've gotten to that part yet. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you can easily just use the exception error method. So let me see Salesforce exception class. Okay, and I'm sure the method is there. So to give you the exact message where the validation or whatever, if it's a flow or a process, just give you the exact error.
Yeah.
I thought you want to see it in the UI.
It is not going to be a bad idea if we can, but at least for now.
You can see it in the UI. I'm going to show you. Okay, I think it gets message. So let me just do this again. e.get message be a method. I'm going to try this now. So this we're talking about is just going to return a text. No, this was what we had last time. First exception rule. Is what you're talking about?
Yes. Yeah, but is it so? I think this is like the general error is the get a message that made us able to see this? Is it that's what? Oh, okay.
What was it? A DML operation he was doing?
Yeah, we're working on DML.
Yes, it's DML exception he used.
Yeah. Okay. DML exception.
Yes.
So let me go to DML exception class. Yeah, this is where I am, right? No.
Yeah, I saw it here. So you can control find it. Okay, yeah, that's it.
DML message. So if it's DML exception, I guess he used database. Did he use database then SAT?
Yes. Yeah, he did database. I don't know if it was inside, but I know that there was database in front.
Yeah, there's database in it.
Okay, let's try. So you can either use exception or DML exception. So database .SAT. Okay, just want to insert one account. Read this guy. So let me look for. So get fields, no, get field names. So let's use get DML message. You know, it's just a method on the class.
It will wait the variable for the exception. You have to choose the one.
TML session, get TML message. When they have it here, right? So who is lying to each other? I don't know what this guy wants. Okay, DML message. It's supposed to just be this method. Let me just search for a different thing. So let's just see the general message first. The same thing. Yes, message. Still the general message. Is this how the error was, Toby?
Yes, that was what the error was. If I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know why the DML, what's it called? The DML stores were not working. But I know let me use, where is it? Let me use those other methods. You can actually get, okay. That's if it's a list. So sorry. So see, they were getting the number in the DML, so it's a list. I was just inserting one. This stuff can be tricky, right? But what I thought you were asking was how to show it in the UI. So maybe if you write an Apex class that is going to be called by flow or you want to use it to do some validation, there's a way to just send it here. I thought that was what you were talking about.
That we'll have to use trigger for that, right?
Yeah, you have to wait later for that. It's just as easy. It's just as easy. Maybe you can look at this. I don't know if you just as easy as just calling add error. Just add error, then pass a message. It's going to show in the UI.
Okay.
Just handle it. So maybe if it's a trigger, so just that particular record, just call add error, and it's just going to show. If you're creating a record and you click on save, it's run the trigger and just show you an error before it saves.
Okay, so is this something like if enter? Okay, maybe we've set up a is it validation rule or something, and it comes up with this regular error. We can now modify that error to read apart from to read something else, or at what point, what kind of errors do we kind of need to code for?
Okay, for instance, I think there's an app I and Tony worked on, right? So when a record gets created, we use a trigger to call an external OMS system, I think, to check some stuff. Okay, so for example, let's say maybe you're maybe a marketing agent, you create one particular record from a custom object and put the ID from the external platform as Sam. So when you create the record, we call an external platform and to check if these records or if this particular stuff exists. Or sometimes we just try to create something with another web service outside. So if it returns an error, so you guys have not started doing call out. So if the HTTP status is false, so you can just maybe add the message. So now you know what particularly got wrong. So you can just maybe add error, the user ID, blah, 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 blah. It's not correct or something because you know the particular issue. And if you don't know the issue, ideally, one of the major reasons for using add error is you don't want a user or a non-developer to see this, okay? Some might understand it, some might not understand it. So if it's an insert field or you just check the status, you just, instead of showing the person first error exception or zero first error required field, just tell them like the way Salesforce does it here. Let me try to save again. So this is a custom message, right? So this is not close date, opportunity, and stage. So the error handling and adding error just helps you show a normal user a different message from the cryptic code message.
So if I understand well, most of the time when we'll be using that error and stuff, it's boiled down to something we created, not like a custom stuff that Salesforce already has inbuilt already.
Yeah, you can if you want, right? But most of the error messages, not just with Salesforce, most applications or APIs, they are always techy. I think that's the word. Okay, so it's left for you, the developer, to catch the error. So by catch we mean this stuff here. So that's why we have this catch here. So it's left for you, the developer, to catch the error, read the error. So let me see. This is not HTTP. I will have showed. Let me just see if he has something that I can play around with. So it's left for you to read the error to now know, okay, so this error happened because of this. So rather than sending the user the message Salesforce is telling you, you can maybe in your code, first of all, decipher the message before replying the user or giving the user a cryptic message. I'm looking for an example. There's no good example. Let me see. You just get message. Okay, so you just get the point, right? So you can catch the error. You can do some maybe computations here. Just check why the record didn't create. Once you get the reason, then you can just send a user-friendly message. You just always try to send user-friendly error message. So most times if you use other application, you see can't do stuff, please contact an admin or please contact support or something. Yeah. So those are just manual error messages, right? They know what happened, but they just don't want you to. Not that they want you to. Let me just try. Let me try if I can. I don't want to open that app now. Okay, so the try catch just helps you catch your error. You read the error to understand it, and you just give the user a custom error message. I don't know how I opened this org. I'm supposed to open an org I have. I have some stuff in Node.dml here. I wish I could show you examples, Toby. I actually want to show you examples.
Yeah, we can, if you can't get it, we can maybe next tutorial or something.
Okay. I know I have some orgs where I have like DML statements and stuff like that. Okay. So we can leave that for next time.
Okay, yeah. Another thing is, so this try, is it
Okay.
like advisable that at any point in time, if we are coding, we should, put it there so that we'll know, or so how will I ask the question now? Is this something like best practice to put your try clause there so that you can always see the error, or it's optional?
It's optional, but it's necessary and it's best practice. Okay, so ideally, you want to only use try catch for something you know or you're not sure, or you know will break your code in the future. Okay, so for example, if I open any of those my classes now, you're going to see maybe I just have plain code. Before I save this, right, Salesforce will help me validate this if it will run perfectly well. Okay, I'm sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
But when you have, in fact, most times when you have a DML operation, you want to insert and you're not sure maybe what field is coming in and what will happen when this code runs. Always use, if you can see now, the only place I used try catch in this code was when I wanted to do an insert. So this code is going to be run later when I'm not here, or maybe it's going to be run like when I'm not here, when I'm not watching it. Okay. So for validation, there are no problems. Apex just validated it and the syntax is fine, but something might go wrong later. Mm-hmm. So it's always advisable to use try catch if you want in all your codes, but it's not necessary. Where it's mostly necessary is if you're performing either HTTP callouts, like maybe you guys are going to get there. I'm very, very sure. Tony said he's going to talk about it. HTTP callouts. By call out, it's just like maybe you want to call out a third-party web service to check something. It's called REST or DML, not just or DML, there are more DML statements. Then batch or schedulable stuff, batch operations, okay? So to answer your question, right, it's best practice. If you can, be putting it everywhere, but it's always more advisable to use it for DML statement, because you might always face some errors here and you don't want your code to stop running. So try catch always keeps your code running. So if it just catches the error and just continues the code, it doesn't break your code.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other question?
So don't worry, I'm sure that I will still have some questions to ask, because what I'm actually doing now is when Tony teaches in class, we'll definitely go back, watch the video, code along with the video, and maybe things that are not clear, I will definitely bring to the class as a discuss. But that's where I am still on.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Okay. I know like almost everyone that is attending the class is familiar with the whole like, let me not call it the normal stuff, right? The whole stuff we did from JavaScript and JavaScript, and I don't know if you guys did it in App Builder. Data types, data structures, strings. I won't want to start going through all those. All the string, integer, long, and conditional. So here's what we're going to do, right? I actually thought we were going to have a lot of questions, right? So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to talk to Tony, right? After the classes, right? So you guys are going to be, Tony is going to be taking like teachings. Then when we come to, what's it called? When we come to the tutorial, we'll just try to build a very, very, very mini applications, or rather, I want to be building applications in the tutorial classes. Okay, so I think previously, last cohort. Yeah, I think last cohort, I was just maybe repeating everything he taught. I'll come and maybe teach the whole stuff again, right? But what I just want to do, right? I just want to be looking for use cases, little, very, very, very little use cases, and
That would be a very great idea.
That was what I was about to say. That I think that approach will help
to make us know it better.
Yeah.
Use cases, assignments, classwork.
So we just have. I'll be attending the classes also. We'll just have the classes. Then on Friday we'll just come. I'll just drop a very short use case. Maybe I'll go and take some from Roberto's notes. I have some. I don't know if I say I have access to that. So because I actually won't want to do like the whole coming back to explain everything again. So I'm just going to like kind of prepare before next week. It's going to be more fun when you guys get into Visual Force pages and LWC, okay? It's going to be more fun when we get to Visual Force pages and LWC. Let me just give me a minute. Let me see something. I'm going to stop sharing and share another window. Just can you see my screen?
It's saying Sammy has started sharing screen, but nothing is showing.
Okay, wrong window.
We can see your screen now.
I wanted to open up. Let me see. I have a whole lot of bugs and sandboxes, but I know I have one where I have some practical stuff. That was what I was looking for. Let me see. Classes. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of look for all of them, right? Then on Friday, I'll just make it open. Like I actually want the tutorial sessions to be like communicative. I'll just make it open. We'll just be working on stuff. I'm looking for that stuff for you, Toby. That error stuff.
Okay.
I can swear I have it somewhere. So maybe we'll just leave everything for the next week. I wanted to see account handler. What am I handling in the account? It still gets message. Actually, it's get message, but you just have to maybe manually read the message and give what's it called? Give a response to the user. A very friendly response. Yeah, look at it here. So add error. So let me just use this org as an example. So let me just see what we trigger this. Before deletes, prevent deletion of accounts if they have related opportunities. So let me just try it. So I'll go to opportunities. You guys can hear me. Like this stuff is not loading. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thought I was lost. Looking for how to relate an account to opportunity. Related product notes, contract close partner stages. Where is it? Let me see that code again. Let me just create a new account. Okay. New opportunity. If I try to delete these accounts, I should get an error. Let's see. Okay, can you see this now, Toby?
Yes, we can see it.
Cannot delete accounts with related opportunities. If you go to the code, you see that I'm the one that manually puts in that error. Okay, so this is like you can, I know maybe you guys are going to get there. You can manually add an error. You can also do it where it's going to appear really nice is if you're validating on create. So maybe you're creating and you want to validate something, if you save, it's going to show up like this. By just calling the add error, it's going to show up like that. So this was what I thought we were talking about. So we can just maybe stop here, right? So on Friday, we're just going to try to build a very little basic solution based on everything Tony has taught you guys. So I can just maybe bring up some other stuff I've worked on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I think that'll be all for me, right? I actually wanted to like maybe talk based on questions you guys asked. So well let's just build stuff on Friday, okay? Toby, Afam, were you guys in the JavaScript and app builder classes?
Yes.
Okay, no problems. Thank you so much.
All right, yeah, fine. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sammy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. I'm going to text you later.
All right.
You can stop recording.